it is C, and we are back playing Hypermarket Simulator. I am so excited to hop into this today, guys, and continue our store renovation. But before doing that, I did want to just go over, there has been a small update that fixed several bugs, fine-tuned some numbers, and made a few requested updates. With that, they did disable the ability to order furniture using the hand scanner. From my understanding, they may give us the option to turn that back on. I really hope so. Where it'll be, I guess, maybe a setting if you want that on and off. I guess people were accidentally ordering way too much furniture. But also, they increased the maximum number of permanent workers from 18 to 22. So when we hop into the game, I do want to hire more workers, get them training. And then they also decrease. There was a few other fixes, but another thing, they reduced the maximum number of products a customer can buy from 30 to 15 to reduce store crowding. Further improvements are planned. So that is kind of, there were some other things too where there were some bugs, but guys, we haven't done any sort of gameplay yet, so I haven't encountered any bugs, but there were some bug fixes, so the devs are definitely on it. But as always, guys, I do hope that you are having an amazing day or evening, and if you are new to the channel, if you would consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you are enjoying the content, if you would like the video, I would truly appreciate it. The game plan, sorry, for today, guys, we are going to do a voiceover, but before that, again, I wanted to just talk to you guys about the update, and then I also want to, oh my goodness, that was a high jump. I also want to go and kind of show you guys what I'm planning on doing, and then we'll cut to the sped up version with the voiceover. But I do want to start removing all of this, guys. There's so much. So we're going to start removing all of the wine and liquor, and then also remove these items here onto the new shelves. And then from there, I think we may put a pause on doing that and start working on some actual gameplay in the next one. But that's kind of what we plan on doing today. And now we will go to the voiceover. So here I am in the future after many hours, and the first thing that we're going to do is hire those 3 employees. We should, did it go 18 to 22? So I think there's one more employee that we can eventually hire. They just were not available. But here I am just getting them ready to go with the training, because we want them all trained up whenever we do go back to our regular gameplay. I'm sorry. Because guys, apparently even with the reduced amount that the customers will buy, we're still going to need to keep up with stock. We're reducing a lot of our stock, which is going to make it a lot easier. And then here I am throwing that one box into that selling truck, and we never touch it again today, guys. Like, again, I love that they gave us this feature, and I love that it's a unique way of giving us, the option to sell items. I wish that we also had the option of just a simple key binding or simple button that we could press. But I can definitely see in the earlier days, when you're grinding for money, the importance of that truck. But right now we have so much money that I'm just going to throw it away rather than walking back and forth. But here we are, we're going to start clearing out all of our snacks. I skipped way ahead on this because you guys don't need to see me doing the same thing, but here I realized that for whatever reason, those chips do not fit on that shelf, although the other chips did. So I was a little frustrated. I just moved it out of the way. I eventually figured it out, but I was like, are you kidding me, game? I had it in my head that those were going to go on that shelf, and they don't. And this is a new, this is a new update, new item type altogether, so I'm sure it will get fixed. But right now it's not. So I had to like kind of think of something else, but it's a-okay. If it does get patched where we can put those chips on the shelf, we'll just move them. But I think it actually worked out better the way I end up doing it. So we may just keep it. It's a-okay. But while we're kind of moving everything over, I realized that, hey, the wine and the spirits are not going to fit if the chips would. I was kind of like, let me test it. And thankfully I did before I got too invested in that idea. So we just move all of the beer onto this shelf instead. And we end up where we have like an entire third slot empty. So we'll have 2 rows of beer, kind of what you see here. So we'll have to find something to put in that slot. Also, I forgot that was a spirit at the bottom, not beer, so it wouldn't fit on that shelf. So then I was like, oh, perfect. I'll set it on this orange shelf above the chips. That would be great. I forgot for whatever reason it doesn't fit on that shelf, which is why we put it on the white shelf to begin with. But eventually big brain kicks in and I'm like, why don't I just switch with one of the corner shelves, which eventually I turned to. You'll see, yeah, there. I was like, okay, why don't I just take one of the wines from here, see if it works. It does perfectly. So it worked out great, thankfully, because if not, there was going to be just like this one random shelf with, you know, I think that's some sort of spirit. Either way, guys, it works out perfectly. And then what I end up doing, guys, today, and don't want to go too far ahead, but I end up pretty much getting us to a point where in the next one, it won't be a voiceover. I am going to finish up the renovation, but we'll do it in real time because we're not having to remove a bunch of stock. We're just going to have to get things placed the way I want. So I'm super, super excited for the next one because, guys, this took a really long time. It's about 3 hours, or not quite 3 hours. It's not as long as it was for yesterday's video, but it was close to it. And then here I realized that for whatever reason, the candy pack doesn't fit anymore, although we see that there's a label there for it. So I just, again, we're just making changes and figuring it out, and it's a-okay. This is a newly released patch. There are going to be things that are a little wonky with it, but we'll give the devs time. They are, guys, speaking of the update and all of that, let's give the devs a little bit of grace, guys. They just put out a very major update with 200 new items and so many new features. And they are so responsive. They've already put out a patch for some of the bug fixes. And we just need to be a little patient. This game is still in early access. So with that, there are going to be some bugs. There are going to be, things, but they're still adding things to the game, and they're constantly improving it and making it, I don't want to say better and better because it's already so much fun. But just give them a little bit of grace. But here I am removing all of the cleaning supplies, and then I realize those sprays will not fit on that shelf. So here I am. We're going to start downsizing. I don't know, but we're gonna. I don't know. I just lost the word altogether. But here we are. It just. What am I trying to say? Oh goodness, guys, it's late for me. Either way, guys, here we are. We're downsizing how many of each item we have so that it starts clearing up these shelves. One, so I don't have to buy anymore, but two, we need to decrease our quantities either way because I don't want so much of each item on the shelves. I even want to maybe in the future go back and revisit the wine and spirits area and decrease the quantities of that. But to be honest, guys, I was like, it's going to be a-okay. We're going to keep it as it is. And there's going to be a little bit more jumps, forward in this because we're doing the same thing that we were doing in the last one. But while we're kind of looking at this, I want to just say a massive, massive thank you to you guys for all of the engagement in the last two videos. I am truly just so thankful, as well as I've gotten so many new subscribers. There's so many new crew members, which I'm so thankful for. So while we're kind of just going through this, I just want to again say thank you. I truly appreciate all of the support with Hypermarket. This game it's so much fun, and I'm so thankful to be. I keep saying thankful, but I am. But either way, I am so happy to be hopping back into this. But here I am, like, do I dare start tackling these shelves? And I do. I was kind of going back and forth in my head, like, do I want to start removing all of the shampoo, all of the home stuff, the vases, all of that? And I'm like, I might as well. Like, I'm already kind of in the groove. Let's go ahead and start downsizing all of the items as well. And I'm so glad I did, because you guys will see at the end, we have a lot more space in our store than I thought we would. And here I am just testing to make sure the dog and the cat food and such will fit on those shelves, which they do, thankfully. But yeah, I am so glad that we decided to do this. And I'm excited again. I'm excited for the next episode where we can really start planning out our store layout. I already kind of have it in my head what I want to try out, and I'm super excited to do that. The only thing I think we may need to move over is our clothing. I did not do anything with the clothing. The clothing on the racks, I may keep those, but I want to. There's like a new display table for the clothing items, and I want to try that out. I'm intrigued. I want to see how those work, and if the employees are able to keep those stocked a little bit better than the clothing racks that we currently use. But we'll see. That's the only thing I think we'll need to move over. And then here I am again, like, do I want to do this? But you might as well. We've already started doing so much. And here we have a huge pile of temporary boxes. And I did have a thought, because there was that bug, that patch that fixed the bugs. And I was like, what if the devs patched it to where the invisible boxes do not disappear? I was seriously thinking that this whole time. And I was like, if that was the case, I think I might have just been like, I'm calling it quits on Hypermarket for a little bit, because it would have been so much for me to do. But thankfully, once you save, you go to the main menu, you load back in, those temporary boxes are gone. And I hope it stays that way, because that is such a good way to quickly get rid of items that you don't want. So hopefully no one's listening and going back to the dev and saying it needs to be patched, because it does not. It's not a bug. This is it's intentional. I'm gonna say that. But either way, here I am. I'm like, let's just double check. So I quit to the main menu. I'm gonna bring you guys back in, and all of the boxes, they're gone. And I'm like so relieved at this point, guys, because again, I wasn't sure. But thankfully the boxes were all gone, and I did start experiencing some lag. And I don't know exactly how far into the video I decide to open the store. I should not have done that, but my thought process was, hey, if I open the store, one, the employees will be super busy restocking what they can, because we're probably out of everything at this point. But two, the customers will be buying products, so it's less items that we have to remove off the shelf. So it makes sense. But because we have so many temporary boxes lying around, my game got so laggy, and I was so scared it was going to crash. I'm pretty sure I paused most of the recording because it's bad. Here,
Please proceed to the checkout areas. Thank you for shopping with us.
I forget to open. I'm thinking, let me just try to get the the mice or whatever, off the shelf. And then I think it rolls over to the next day. Yeah. So this is where I'm like, let me go ahead and open the store. I think. When do I make that? Yeah, here I am. I'm like, let's open the store. That way, whatever. I shouldn't have done this, guys. It was, don't do this if you're going to have all these boxes and such lying. Unless, I mean, if you have a really great computer. My computer was struggling with doing this with recording as well. I kept getting like warnings from OBS and I was like, please don't crash. But we didn't have any crash, thankfully. But you can kind of see like my game is lagging really bad. But I was super surprised how many, sorry, I'm like looking as well, like paying attention to what I'm doing as if I wasn't the one playing. But I was super surprised to see how much stock we still had on the
Attention
shelves.
shoppers, the hypermarket will be closing soon. Please proceed to the
But
checkout areas.
here,
Thank you for
guys,
shopping with
like
us.
it is sped up. So, keep that in mind. But it's still like so laggy. Um, and I think my game, I thought it was going to crash
Move on
there.
to the management area.
And here what am I doing? Oh, okay. So here I am going and just making sure that the employees are still training because I think they at one point finished their training and I was like, no, they need to get back on it because we want them again to be fully trained. And then I am searching for the other, because I know there was a lady that we hired and I couldn't find her. I think eventually I realized, I think it's Rose, but either way, we eventually find her and we get her training as well. And then I am here just going through and consolidating more of these shelves. Again, it was great having so much stock. I mean, and on my end, I felt like I was really conservative compared to how some people have their stores. I mean, this is a hypermarket, but we have so many new items. Also, we did level up to level 101. So we do have another license that we can unlock once we finally get to getting in all of the licenses. And here I am just kind of creating new sections. So where I'm placing these, that's not permanent, guys. We will be working on that in tomorrow's episode. Um, but this is where I'm kind of like, let's just open this area up instead of me creating this corner and really blocking this off. If we open this up, guys, look how much space we have once we finally look. Like we have so much more space. So I'm so happy I did that. And then here I am just struggling to grab these fridges. Oh, sometimes I'm like, I struggle so bad with certain things. I'm like, see, like, just pick up the fridge. But here I am. Yeah, look, like, we have so much space. And I'm so glad we did this. And I start moving over. I think I realized that I need to get the cleaning supplies off of here. Eventually, I realized it. I don't know when, but eventually, I'm like, let's just get rid of that one shelf with only 3 cleaning supplies. And we do, and that was a smart move on my end because I'm not sure what else I could put on that shelf to make it make sense. But here I am, just trying to figure out where I'm going to place things. And I think overall, guys, I think it turns out really, really well. This is where it starts to come together, guys. Oh, when things finally just click and you're like, okay, it's started to make sense. The store is like my brain can kind of calm down because the last 2 days it has just been like loading into the game and then feeling like very overwhelmed. But now I'm like, we're at the end, not at the end because there's still more we need to do, but I can see where we can finish up the layout and then get to getting in the new items and really diving into the update with all of the new products. That's the big thing about it, the products. But I needed to get my store together first. And also, speaking of, I'm just super thankful you guys. I wasn't sure how the video was going to turn out, and you guys really enjoyed the format of yesterday's video. So, again, this video is the same way. So I'm just super happy you guys were okay with that. It was just so much easier to do this for like this part of our renovation phase, and then again tomorrow we'll be back normal speed, just kind of working out the rest of the store layout. And then I would think after that we can start getting in the new license agreements and kind of working our way like that. And eventually I do need to tackle our storage, so I I don't know when I want to do that, but eventually we will need to do a full storage renovation too. But I want to take a break from any sort of like big layout changes after we get our store. So we'll probably focus on the storage at a later date once we're kind of forced to. But here I'm just kind of figuring out where to put the cleaning supplies. I put them here. I don't know if this is going to be permanent, guys. I kind of like don't know where to put them because we have such a limited like amount of cleaning supplies. But I think it makes sense to kind of be nearish the grocery section because that's where it would be in real life. And then here I am just getting together all of these items. So all of our like home items, I guess. I keep it with the shampoo. Don't know if that makes the most sense, but for now it'll make sense because I don't really know where else to put it. And then the toilet paper, I like having it right there, but then I bring over more shelves and then we don't have
Attention
room.
shoppers, the hypermarket will be closing soon. Please proceed to the checkout areas. Thank you for shopping with us.
And here I am just opening so that it doesn't roll over to the next day. But I start bringing over all of these shelves here, and then the toilet paper doesn't have any room. So I'm kind of like, what do I do now? And there's that wall that kind of juts out. Once we work on our storage, we'll probably redo how those walls are, and then that area will be flush. And we can kind of rearrange how we have our shelves lined up. But for now, it's going to have to work like this, and it's a-okay. This is not going to be any sort of like our final layout. Even what we do in tomorrow's episode, this is going to be a work in progress, guys, especially with the amount of new items that we're getting or that we got. But yeah, here I am. We're just moving over the rest of these items. And again, guys, like doing this, we have so much space. For now, that kind of back wall with all of the workout equipment, the basketballs and the kettlebells and such, I think we're going to keep that wall as it is for now. And then if we need to downsize that as well, we will. But I think for now it's a-okay. And then here I am just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with like the electronics section, which I think I may move this section all together eventually, but for now we kind of keep it where it is, but we just move it up. Again, just making more space, guys. That's a trick too. If the shelves are not fitting correctly, like snapping together the way you want, there is, at least on the PC, you can click R or T and it pops up on the screen, and that's the snap rotate. And then usually if you do that, it will pop, snap into place the way it's supposed to, because those placing the shelves can be a little finicky. And guys, I struggle with placing this for some reason because I'm like, I didn't like the way it was sticking out. And then I was thinking, oh, I'll put the toilet paper right there. I quickly changed my mind on that. I think I hope I do at least, because yeah, I was like, that's not going to work. So the toilet paper we end up putting, I think, in the corner with the cleaning supplies. If you guys have a better like place to put that, let me know. And this is where I'm realizing we need a little bit more space. So I do eventually figure it out. I think I was trying to just like free place that by itself, but I was like, that's not going to work. So I just make this aisle a little bit bigger, which makes way more sense. And then I'm just grouping together the keyboards here. And then we put it kind of on the inside of that aisle so it's not sticking out when you're walking, and it looks so much better. And then the toilet paper, yeah, I just stick over here in the corner. Again, if there's a better spot for it, let me know, please. That toilet paper, since the beginning, since we got it in, I'm never satisfied with the placement of it. But we're kind of wrapping it up from here, guys. I do thank you guys so much for sticking around and playing this game with me. If you are new to the channel, if you would consider hitting that subscribe button, I would truly appreciate it so much. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.